going to explain outright sales, Tide?
Okay, so if anyone comes across this photo, which is something you might have seen on this page, you would want to know what this photo is all about. So basically, if we start from the top, we, as Diasal attorneys, offer what you call outright sales and outright sale purchases to any interested person wanting to invest or wanting to expand on their current timeshare portfolio. At the beginning, we'd like to stress the point that it's advisable that anyone who purchases timeshare does so from a company which is registered and accredited, because it's only registered and accredited agents who can sell timeshare sales and outright sale purchases. So getting into the picture itself, you'll see that we have various resorts on offer. And with the resorts, there's different weeks which are for sale during the calendar year. So if we look at the first one, at Umhlanga Sands.
Which one?
The one,
Week
the first
three.
one, yeah, week 3. So basically, if you want to purchase week 3 at Umhlanga Sands, you would be purchasing the week 3 on the Tsogosan calendar or on the RCI calendar. You will not be purchasing the week of the normal calendar year, because the calendar year is only determined according to the timeshare calendar. So the dates of the normal calendar do change annually as how it falls, but the timeshare calendar, obviously week 3 would remain week 3. No, it's fine. Week 3 would remain week 3. So this year, okay, we'll see next year, week 3 falls during the dates 15 to 22 June. If you purchase the week 3, there's 3 things that will be available to you with regards to how you dispose or use the unit that you purchase. The first thing is, once you purchase it, you have every right as an owner to occupy, provided that the levies are paid. Now, levies are what we call maintenance fees, which a resort charges you as an owner for the general upkeep of the resort, and this is paid on an annual basis, and obviously escalates depending on what the determination of the annual levies is from year to year. The escalation sometimes goes up between 4 to 8%. So that's something you need to be wary of when you do purchase timeshare. Once you pay your levies, or once you purchase the unit rather, and you become an owner, immediately you're liable for payment of levies. If you purchase a unit which has an occupation date like this way in advance, you do not need to pay the levies immediately. The levy department would issue you with statements during the course of the year reminding you of the monies due, and you're at liberty to pay it off as you wish until such time as on the date of occupation. However, there are certain resorts which administer a admin fee for late payment. So we always encourage all owners, new and current, to pay the levies at least 5 months in advance to prevent any possible charge of admin fees, and some resorts do charge interest as well. So you need to keep that in mind. Bentry Bay does it quite nicely. If you don't check your levy statements, you'll see that they do charge interest. So that's something to always bear in mind. So hypothetically, you purchased week 3, you've taken ownership, now you've become an owner. What do you do with the unit? So there's 3 things that can be done. The first thing is you occupy the week, you wait for the dates 15 to 22 Jan to come, and provided that you paid your levies, you can go to the resort and occupy the week and enjoy it
So
for yourself.
some of the questions ask, you only own that specific week.
Yeah, so basically, if it's week 3 of the Tokosan or the timeshare calendar, it's week 3 is how it falls on the normal calendar. You
For
can't,
the rest of your life.
yeah, you can't change the date or you can't amend the date because that's what you own. So the first thing is you can occupy. The second thing is, if you feel you do not want to occupy and you want to rent it out, you can do it through our offices, or you can do it privately. That option is available to you as well. And you can get a guest to occupy your week. And normally what we do is, if you do come to us, we try and cover your levies as priority. And then from there, whatever we can give you on the rental, we'll always try and work around that. And the third thing is, if you choose not to occupy and if you choose not to rent it out, you have an option which is called banking. Banking of the unit means that you approach a club. We've got the RCI as an illustration because RCI has good affiliations with most of the Toksan or all the Toksan resorts. But RCI is not the only club you can approach. There are several others, including DAE, iExchange, and the like. But for purposes of what we do through our offices, we encourage all our clients also to rather bank with RCI, because RCI is the biggest exchange and points-based club in the world, and it gives you good chance of exploring not only resorts in South Africa but various international resorts throughout the world when you do have points in your kitty and when you do become a member of RCI. So if you look at the week 3, you've purchased it, you know you own week 3, you know what your dates are. One thing to bear in mind when you do think of banking is to always look at the season within which your timeshare falls. The seasons are 4. It's either 5. It's either blue, white, red, peak, and high peak. So for week 3 is classified as a red week, which means that it falls just after the peak rush in December and January. Not only is it a nice week during the year when the weather is good, but we always gauge the week by the value of points that you can gain if you bank it. So a week 3, which is a red week, if you do decide to bank it, would give you, if you see towards the right hand side under the column RCI points, it will give you 4,550 points, provided that this is done in advance, where RCI does have a sliding scale. So the closer you bank, if you bank your unit closer to the date of occupation, the less points you're going to get. But if you bank your unit way in advance, you'll get full points, which is the 4,550 points. We did get a question before that people who own timeshare and have points asked us whether we sell in the units in terms of the point value advertised on this ad. We are not selling the unit at 4,500 points. We are selling the unit at 17,550 Rand, which is a purchase price. The points is just for illustration purposes, so that you know when you bank it, this is what you can gain as a member of RCI. By perusing further through the list, you'll see that there's certain weeks which are on offer. We do make notes in the last column uh, which would entice you to want to purchase that week, bearing in mind that certain weeks are bargain buys, certain weeks do fall in school holidays, certain weeks do fall over long weekends or contain a long weekend in it. If you look at Bentry Bay, second last from the bottom, the week 39, most years, if not all, has the 24th September public holiday in it. So automatically you know that there's chance that that week could be a long weekend, and obviously it's a nice week to purchase. The best week, obviously, to purchase on any outright sale for any investor, if you do have extra cash available, is obviously a peak week. Your returns on a peak week are much higher than those of any off-peak week, but notwithstanding the fact that these weeks are expensive, we do encourage you to buy any week that you feel falls within your budget, because any week you own is an advantage to yourself. We've explained this in previous posts where
So if I have a week, off-peak week, for instance, week 7, which, okay, that's sold.
yeah, but week 7 is, if you touch on the week 7, you know week 7 falls during the period of Valentine's and it's high demand.
Okay, yeah, week 41.
Yeah.
Is it a peak?
Week 41, yeah, you'll see under the column season, it says red/peak 1. So people ask us what that means. So basically, if you look at the seasons, red would mean, like I explained, either before peak or after peak, and peak 1 would be peak. So how it works is, if this unit falls during the peak school holidays of the normal calendar years, so like how we experienced in the past few years, the calendars changed or have changed considerably. Peak weeks, which were normally peak weeks, didn't fall in the school holidays anymore because of the change in the school holidays. So what this means, when you see red/peak 1, it means that this is an in and out peak week. So depending on how the school holidays fall on the normal school holiday calendar, you might get this week in school holidays, or it might fall just out of school holidays. And if it does fall in school holidays during that year, it would be considered peak. You would get peak points if you bank it, or if you occupy it, obviously it will be during school holidays, or if you rent it, it will be during school holidays. And if it's red, that means it falls out of school holidays, and for that year you get off-peak points, because red is off-peak, peak is peak, and for that specific year you'll get off-peak points.
Okay, so if I own the week 3, I'm getting 4,550 points.
Off-peak.
Off-peak points.
Yeah.
I want to use that. I bank it with I exchange or RCI.
Correct.
Can I use that points to go overseas?
So basically, we can't explain how RCI works, because obviously they have their own thing of what they do and how they do it. But what we can suggest is each website has a lot of information on what the banking procedures are, what you can do with points when you bank it, and just if you touch on RCI, for instance, if you have 4,500 points in your kitty, and for people who understand now, who may have or do have timeshare that they own already, would know that you can either use it on an exchange basis or you can use it on a bonus basis. So your points allow you to either use it with points or with bonus, which gives you a way of getting further weeks in their whole rental pool. But that's those questions are better left for people who want to phone RCI or iExchange to have them explain better, because they the yeah, but that's what it is. So if, for instance, you have 4,500 points from having banked this 2022 allocation. 4,500 points might be enough to take you across the border to certain countries, but might not be enough to take you to, for instance, Florida in Orlando, where if you want to exchange a week, like your week 3 for a week in Florida, you'll probably need to have more points than what you currently have. So you might need to bank 2 years in advance. So that would mean for 2 years, you won't be able to occupy, you won't be able to rent, but you will be able to bank the unit in advance to keep those points in your kitty. And then you can use those points, obviously, to travel for 1 week overseas if your points are enough. And you can use that to go to travel overseas like how we do.
Okay, can I buy this week 3? This is the question that people are asking. Can I buy the week 3 and make millions out of it?
Well, the simple answer or the straight answer to an off-peak week purchase is no. If you want to make millions out of timeshare, timeshare is not a ROI in the normal sense where you're thinking you're getting 10% year on year. It doesn't work. Timeshare, if you're talking about an investment, you need to understand that it's going to pay you off over more than 10 years. However, the best investment a timeshare can give, and this is what we stressed in previous posts, is timeshare purchases are investments on your future as an individual or for your family, and
or to secure your holiday for
or
life.
to secure your holiday for life, because you know you can pass it through your family. If you're alive and you have your kids want to go, you can issue a guest certificate and have them occupy the unit. If you pass on and hypothetically this forms part of your estate, you know your heirs stand to inherit. If it's formed part of a trust, you know the trust lives on, and obviously the trustees still benefit even if you're no longer there. So in that sense, it's an investment for your future. But if you want to break the bank with timeshare, then this is not it. If you have 1 million, you can buy a duplex in Cabana Beach. A week 52 goes for about 1.2 million, and
you'll get a return on that one?
Depending on how good the season is, and if we don't have extended COVID for the next 20 years, yes, you might get your money back. But it's always good to have. I mean, you can't go wrong with timeshare.
So if I do buy an off-peak week, week 3,
yeah,
can I bank it and get a week 52?
No, like I said, peak is peak, off-peak is off-peak. So if you own a week 3 which is off-peak, you're going to get off-peak points. If you're going to buy a week such as a week 41, which is red/peak, the years that it falls peak, you benefit from peak points or peak ownership or peak rental, and the years that it's off-peak, you won't obviously benefit much. And if you buy a through and through peak week, like a week 49, week 50, week 51, week 1, week 2, then obviously you know you get in peak returns. They fall in the school holidays, in fixed school holidays. So from December right up until January, you know it's not in and out. You know a Christmas week, which is week 51, is Christmas. It doesn't change. It's not in and out like the other weeks.
Okay, so if I don't want to use this week 3, I bank it with iExchange or RCI.
Yeah.
They give me this amount, more or less this amount of
Yeah.
points. Then I can use that points to go to book at only Umhlanga Sands, or can I book at any other resort?
No, you'll be entitled to book at any other resort within obviously their portfolio of hotels, both locally and internationally. And most of the major resort destinations in South Africa.
And what fee do they charge to book?
That's why I said certain resorts, certain banking companies have their own fee structure, and it's best to ask them. But for instance, RCI, which if you exchange in your unit on points, would charge you about 500 in exchange fee over and above the points that you need to redeem, obviously, to book the week. So if you can't make week 3 and you're thinking of going maybe in September, you can bank it, pay the exchange fee, use your points allocation. Maybe they charge 2,000 points, maybe they charge 3,000 points. You relinquish those points, you pay your 500 Yen or 800 Yen exchange fee, and you still have 1,000 points in your kitty, which carries over for a period of 3 years, because your points last for 3 years, after which they expire. So it's always good to use your points within 3 years, but they do remind you that your points expire. So you won't be out of the loop if obviously you check your emails regularly.
And if I want to sell it, another question that came in.
Okay, so basically from our side, we only deal currently with share block timeshare, which is timeshare through resorts such as Umhlanga Sands, Cabana Beach, Bantry Bay, Drakensberg Sun, Savi River, Pine Lake. These are, when you own a share block, you as an owner are given a share certificate, and that confirms your ownership. Now that's one way of owning timeshare. The second way of owning timeshare is via sectional title, which we most of the time are presented with these units to assist owners in reselling. Unfortunately, we don't do that because that goes through a conveyancing fee process, which means that we usually on a share block transfer like this, you pay 1,850 Rand for the transfer fees. If you own a Durban Spa and you wish to sell the Durban Spa, because it's sectional title, you have to use a conveyancer, and sometimes the fees of the conveyancer are more than the value of the unit. That's why we don't, at the moment, we don't sell sectional title units. Sectional titles are available at Margate, Sands as well, at Durban Spa.
Another question that came in. What's the difference between timeshare and QVC first exchange, the points, holiday club, and timeshare?
So, RCI is an exchange-based club, which means that once you bank a unit with them, you are given points in exchange for your week. So basically, again, if you're not intending to use your week 3, if you're not intending to rent it, you bank it. It means that you're surrendering your week to RCI, and in exchange for your week, they will give you the points. And obviously, you use the points as how we explained before. Holiday Club, however, charges or works on a different basis from RCI. With them, you purchase a set amount of points, 10, 20, 30, depending how much points you want. For instance, 10,000 points might be 30,000 Rand. And then with that, they have certain availability at certain resorts for maybe 2 points or 3 points or 5 points. I'm not entirely clued up with Holiday Club. I can't give you more information on that because I don't know how they work. But from what I've heard and what I know, this is how they operate. And it's different to RCI because you buy points in Holiday Club. And this is what we experience on the legal side, that In event that holiday club, for instance, gets liquidated or goes bust, you own points with them. You don't own actual timeshare. So that's one danger that you need to bear in mind when you do buy points at these clubs like UBC or Holiday Club. Your points, your money is only as good as the points they give you for as long as they're alive. Whereas with timeshare or share blocks, you're buying shares. If, for instance, something has to happen to Umshanga Sains, you own shares, you become a creditor, and obviously that's a safer way of trying to get your money back.
One of the other questions were, what do I get to say that I own, if I do buy week 3, what do I get to say I own week 3?
You get a share certificate. A share certificate on your name, which normally says that you own unit 03, unit, say for instance, this is a 5th floor. So if you own unit 015 on the 5th floor, week 3, it will be like that. It will say that this name owns week 3, unit 015. You'll be given X amount of shares, and then you will be presented with a share certificate in its entirety. An original will be kept at the resort, or if you want it, they can post it to you. But we encourage you to leave the original with the share registry and have them send you a copy, so that in the event that you do need to resell it, the original is with them. And yeah, if you ever decide to resell it, you can always come back to us, and we'll be able to assist you in reselling it.
I hope this video helped for you guys to understand a little of how timeshare works.
And if you do see bargains, you must know that obviously these units are good to buy and are at a reduced price. So any bargain buy is a good thing to, if you want to start up investing in timeshare, you can start with a bargain price.
Portfolio.
Yeah.